You hear all the time about the incredible power of AI models, right? They can generate stunning art, they can predict diseases, but here's the secret nobody really talks about. Building the model, that's actually the easy part. The real grind, the monumental challenge, is making that model work reliably out in the messy real world. So let's get into it.
And this, right here, this is the core of the problem. You've got a data scientist who builds a model with, say, 99% accuracy in the lab. It's a huge success, but then it gets deployed, and suddenly its performance just tanks. It breaks under pressure, or it just can't keep up with our constantly changing world. So why does this keep happening?
Well, without a proper system, models almost always slam into one of these four walls. First, reproducibility. It's a total nightmare. You can't get the same result twice because the environments are different. Then there's scalability, the classic problem. It works fine on your laptop, but it completely falls apart with thousands of real users. Then you have model degradation, sometimes called data drift, where the model just gets stale. The world changes, new data comes in, and its accuracy slowly dies. And finally, the people problem. You have the brilliant data scientists over here, and the engineers who run the infrastructure over there, and they're just not speaking the same language. It's organized chaos.
So how do you fix this? How do you build a bridge between that perfect, sterile lab environment and the messy, unpredictable real world? Well, the answer is a discipline that has become the absolute backbone of modern AI. It's called MLOps. Now, here's the thing you have to understand. MLOps isn't just one tool you buy. It's a practice, a philosophy, really. Think of it like building an automated, repeatable, and super reliable assembly line for your machine learning models. It covers every single step, from writing the first piece of code all the way to monitoring that model's performance years down the line.
And this is probably the best way to wrap your head around it. If you're at all familiar with DevOps, which completely changed how we build and ship software, then you're already halfway there. MLOps takes all those amazing principles, automation, collaboration, continuous delivery, and adopts them for the unique and, let's be honest, chaotic world of machine learning.
But what's really interesting here is how MLOps adds these extra layers of complexity. You see, DevOps is mostly focused on managing code. MLOps has to manage the code plus the data that train the model and the model itself. And all three of those things can change. This brings in brand new challenges, like that data drift we mentioned, which means you always need to be thinking about retraining. That's why MLOps adds a whole new piece to the puzzle, continuous training, or CT, on top of the standard CI/CD pipelines we know from DevOps.
Okay, so we get the what and the why. Now let's get into the nuts and bolts, how this whole thing actually works as a living, breathing system.
So this is not a straight line, folks. You don't just build a model and walk away. It's a loop, a constant cycle. It all starts with data, of course. You train and you validate your model, making sure it's good. You deploy it, and then, this is the most important part, you monitor it. You watch its performance like a hawk. The second you see its accuracy start to drop, that feedback gets piped right back to the beginning of the loop, automatically kicking off a retrain with new, fresh data. It's a system that's designed to constantly improve itself.
So setting up this loop, it sounds like a lot of work, right? Is it really worth it? Oh, absolutely, 100%. The benefits you get from a mature MLOps practice, they are a total game changer for any company that's serious about AI. And just look at how these benefits directly solve those four big failures we started with. Reproducibility issues? Gone, because every single step is automated and tracked. Scalability problems? Solved. These pipelines are built for it. Those collaboration gaps between teams? They're bridged by a single, unified process. This is how you take AI from a cool science experiment and turn it into a reliable, scalable engine for your business.
And this is not some abstract theory, I promise you. You interact with MLOps every single day. You know when you're on a shopping website and it shows you exactly the thing you didn't know you needed? That recommendation model is being constantly monitored, updated, and managed by an MLOps pipeline running in the background.
Or think about your bank. The people trying to commit fraud are always coming up with new tricks. So the AI models that protect your accounts have to adapt, like instantly. MLOps is what allows those models to be retrained continuously, helping them stay one step ahead of the bad guys.
And when you get to really high-stakes stuff, like self-driving cars, there is absolutely zero room for error. The AI models that see and interpret the world have to be updated flawlessly, with tons of new data all the time. MLOps provides that rock-solid, reliable framework that makes it all possible.
So MLOps is clearly incredibly powerful. But, it's not a magic wand. Getting it right comes with its own set of challenges, and this whole field is evolving at lightning speed.
Yeah, getting MLOps right is genuinely hard. Just managing the sheer complexity of data is a massive hurdle. The cloud infrastructure you need to train these huge models can get really expensive fast. And, maybe the toughest nut to crack is the people problem. Getting data scientists, engineers, and ops teams to break out of their old silos and really learn to work together. That's a huge cultural shift.
But the future here is, wow, it's incredibly exciting. MLOps itself is evolving to handle the next wave of AI. We're seeing whole new fields pop up like LLOps, just to manage giant models like GPT. We've got Edge MLOps for running AI on tiny little devices, and there's this huge, important push to bake responsible AI, things like fairness and transparency, right into the automated process from the start.
So if you walk away from this with just one thing, let it be this simple little equation. MLOps is what you get when you bring together the best practices of DevOps, the rigor of data engineering, and the power of machine learning. It's that perfect blend.
And that leaves us with one final big thought. As AI gets woven deeper and deeper into the fabric of our world, our economy, our healthcare, everything, the ability to build and manage it reliably isn't just going to be a nice to have. It's going to be an absolute necessity. So the question we have to ask is, could MLOps end up being the single most important engineering discipline for building the 21st century?